Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jacob here from Burt Media. Today I am here with another longtime friend and partner, Mike Ianelli with Abler. Today we're going to talk more about some of the work we've done with Abler and get to hear a little bit from Mike himself. Mike, thanks for being here.
Hey man, Jeff, I appreciate the opportunity, man. Couldn't be any happier for being here.
So for the sake of viewers, just describe what you do and what Abler is.
Yeah, so my name is Mike Ianelli. I am co-founder of Abler. Ultimately, I'm responsible for the branding elements of the business, the new business and partnerships, and growing sort of the overall reach of the company across the board. Abler is a full-service disability advocacy group and digital accessibility and universal design company. So our whole mission, well, there's a few missions, but ultimately what we were sort of born and bred for was really sort of eliminating barriers for people with disabilities, creating opportunities for organizations to become more accessible so they can reach more customers.
We've been working together for over a year now. What was running through your mind when you were thinking about starting to be more intentional about creating content?
Well, there's a few things. I mean, one, we were a startup company back in the, we still technically have sort of the mindset of that, but you know, when you're in a startup situation, you don't have unlimited funding, and so you have to be very selective with what you choose to spend your time on. And what we do is very, it's storytelling, a big part of what we do. We're not the largest organization out there. We're not going to be out there competing with some of the publicly traded companies that have unlimited budgets. And our audience and our target is a little different. And so when we look around the block and we look around what's happening in the marketplace, we had to be a little different. We had to think a little bit more strategically. And so content and social media is a big area.
Hit on some of the types of projects we've done together, like what types of content we've created together and what some of the sort of goals have been behind those.
Yeah, I think one of the things I think is great about what you do is, you know, we came in with some ideas. And a lot of times, you know, organizations don't know what they want to do. I think in our case, we had some ideas on what we wanted to do, but there were things that we didn't know what we wanted to do. So it was sort of a good blend of saying, hey, we want to create content. You know, one of the first things I think we started off with was not just the social media, but was the podcast. Mm-hmm. You know, we talked for a long time about the importance of sharing our clients' stories. Because again, what we do is it's disability inclusion and it's digital access, right? So when you think about an organization, oftentimes not everybody's super gung-ho to invest money, or and a lot of times it takes a lot of courage to say, hey, we need to do the right thing, right? And so when we had clients that were stepping up in the fire and saying, hey, you know what, this is the right thing to do, we want to do it the right way, we wanted our clients to, we wanted to highlight them. We wanted to highlight their stories, their experiences, and so we thought the best way of doing that was through a podcast. And so you all helped us create that podcast, you helped us create that flow, you helped us bring it to life. Not only did you help produce it in a very professional way, which I think it's a great podcast, but you've helped us sort of promote it as well organically in the social feed. We've also obviously helped create our social media channels, expand those, not only in LinkedIn, but you've looked at each one of those channels independently and figure out how we're going to use those to target our audience. And obviously, most recently, you've come on site with us quite a few times, not only in graduation, but for content experiences, photo headshots, and really just creating, sort of capturing the experiences that we create at Abler and kind of bringing them to life in video format. I think what's good about the relationship is it's a partnership. A lot of times, you know, again, I spent a lot of years in the agency side. It's the agency has this position of telling you what to do. Versus actually listening and sort of, you know, because a lot of times agencies believe they know all the answers, which in some cases they do. But from your perspective, it was an opening experience. It was a welcoming experience. It was not a forced experience. You listened to the opportunities and things that we wanted to do. But you also embedded some sort of your ideas into that and sort of make it better. So I talk about a partnership. It's not just us telling you what to do or you telling us what to do. We use that time to strategize. We use that time to come up with new ideas, and then we test and repeat and test and repeat and learn from those.
For sure.
So it's been a very positive experience for sure. What you all do uniquely different is, so one, you have a studio, and you have good equipment, and you have, I'll say, youthful professionals that are excited and compelled to do what they do every day. A lot of times, especially when you get into social media, a lot of traditional agencies, you know, that was the buzzword, I don't even know, 10 years ago now or 12 years ago, it was like social. And a lot of times it's it's seeing through what that is. Social media is great, but oftentimes it's only as great as the number of people that you have following you.
Yeah.
So you guys saw a lot through that. You know, it wasn't for us. It wasn't about just posting on social, because again, you're talking to the same people over and over again. It's how do we tag, how do we actually grow that channel? And again, we've grown it pretty decent since we've been together. I think we've obviously want to grow it, continue to grow it, but we've had a steady clip of growth. You know, again, compared to a lot of quote unquote traditional agencies who are sort of, you know, behemoths in terms of the media buying and the analytics play, you guys have sort of carved out a nice niche in terms of being able to create content but also promote it socially. So you've got a nice niche in there. There's obviously affordability is key, being open-minded is key, documentation is key, but being able to be nimble is also a super thing, because a lot of times every time you want to move something or shift something, it becomes, you know, a 2-week, 3-week process with a larger organization to do that. Or there's multiple levels or layers that you have to work through to do that. So in this case, you know, being able to have direct connection directly with you and the team, if we've got to pivot, we can have a quick conversation, we can pivot and shift, and we don't have to go through, you know, a 30-day delay. Being able to create content that looks like it was produced at a significantly high level, but then you can distribute it in other more affordable channels. Yes, you may not be in front of, you know, 50 million people, but at the end of the day, you've got to be in front of somebody. And so content, yes, there's virality to it. It's not what we do it for. I mean, I think that the viral days are, you know, I mean, I think there's a chemical there that works for virality, but for us, it's about, a lot of times it's for content for people that are spending time with us, that want to learn more, that want to get educated, that come to our site, that come to our channels. It's educational, but it's educational with a spin of, I would call it fun and compelling. In reality, if you're going to work with company, you want, and we say the same thing, you want to work with people you like, you want to work with people you trust. And you want to work with companies that you feel like you're getting value from. You know, there's nothing worse than working with a company where you're spending all your budget, you don't feel like you're getting value from. And there are a lot of companies out there that don't perform. They just don't. And so I think you take the blend of, you know, again, there's a blend of, we create content, and yeah, you can charge whatever you want for creating content, but what do you do with that content? And so you have the ability to do something with the content. You know, and so a lot of times you go into an organization, it's like you're going to pay a lot of money to have content created, but what is the next step? So for you to be able to kind of have that internal perspective of, hey, we can create it, we can also help you get started. We can help you manage it. We can help you grow too. But it's not just about creating the content for an expense. It's about creating content and distributing the content and getting some sort of actionable results. So from my perspective, you know, again, I think the conversation is a must-have. I mean, I think you've got a great team of people. I think everybody is not only professional, but they're fun to work with. They're smart. They don't claim to know every single answer. They're open-minded to feedback. And you know what? It's been a good year. I had no idea it's been a year, but we've had a lot of growth in a year. Obviously, we want to do a lot more. So yeah, I would say have the conversation, and I would absolutely say give them a run, give them a test run, see how they perform.